Hello everyone, welcome back to Flying Solo with Kat. It is good to be back, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for the inconsistent schedule that it has been. My life has just been one craziness after the other with when it comes with Star Wars and my actual life. But I'm good to be back. We are back on our regular schedule posting every Sunday, and I'm really happy to be back. I'm not happy to make this video, but it needs to be said. If you've not heard about the Acolyte cancellation, I'm going to be talking about it here. I'm going to be giving you guys real information. I have read all of the articles that I will be talking about in this video. I'm going to give you guys my honest and, my honest feedback and give you guys the right answers because there is a lot of misinformation online and people are jumping to conclusions. And I honestly felt crazy when I posted on my personal that, hey guys, if you read the article, it says nothing about it officially being canceled. There are no quotes from anyone at Lucasfilm. There is no quotes from Leslie Headland, the creator herself. No quotes from Dave or Kathleen. It just says, oh, it declined viewership. So I'm going to touch on all of that today and give you guys the honest information, the right information, because I'm kind of fed up with how the Star Wars fandom has handled this news. So anyway, if you could like this video and please share it to other people that may not know what's going on, I would really, really appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get into it. So on August 19th, I have it in my notes labeled as the Doomsday, not the Avengers film, but where the Star Wars fandom lost their damn mind. Deadline, then the Holocron, released a article saying that the Acolyte Season 2 is canceled. And when I saw this, I was like, wait, I don't get it, because there was never a Season 2 put out there. Leslie Headland talked a little bit while doing press for the Acolyte when she was asked, will there be a Season 2? She said, yeah, I can write. Now, okay, she didn't say yes, but she did say that I have written a story and I have a general idea of what I would want for Season 2, but we'll have to see where it goes, right? Which is pretty fair. When you're still working on a Season 1 or still having a Season 1 come out, you never want to be, oh yeah, no, we're already planning on a Season 2. Personally, I think that the Acolyte is fine to end on Season 1. The High Republic is such a great era of Star Wars because it is so influenced by books and comics that I kind of came to the conclusion that, oh, okay, well, if they don't have a Season 2, we'll get more information in books or we'll get more stuff in comics. What's sad is that most of the fandom, though, don't read the books and most of the fandom won't even touch comics. And it's sad because those are such great mediums to tell a story, but you're losing half your fan base, which is unfortunate. Again, I would probably buy the books and I would probably read them just because I'm that type of person. Comics, depending on how many issues, I would probably buy them. But again, she said nothing about Season 2 being confirmed. So I went ahead and read the Holocron information. They're somewhat, not really, I found out, a reliable source when talking about Star Wars information. And basically they said, yeah, no, the viewership was great when the season started, but it actually did, decline by the end of the finale, and the finale had the lowest viewer rate. And then it talked about, yeah, well, it just didn't do good review-wise and all of that. Nothing in that article has any quote from anyone at Lucasfilm or Leslie Headland about, oh no, we are not doing a season 2. Season 2 is canceled. There is nothing from anything really that says that there was supposed to be a season 2 besides Leslie's quote from way back when the Acolyte was starting to come out. And that was it. It only talked about the decline in viewership. And I was like, hey, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Holocron is just skipping over a lot of stuff for the deadline report, which was the first report that we got. Same exact thing. Decline in viewership. They brought up Leslie Heslin's quote, of course, from when the Acolyte began. In nowhere, it had an official quote from Lucasfilm. And I thought I was going crazy because people were going crazy on Twitter saying, I'm done with Star Wars. I can't believe they would cancel. And I'm like, did we read the same article? I'm really confused right now because nothing in there, like, I feel like these people just saw the headline and lost their damn mind. And for me, as someone who takes reading and the news very seriously when analyzing it and making sure that things are true, and especially when it comes to the industry, as someone who studies the industry and wants to become part of the industry, people don't know how it works. People don't think for themselves on why would they cancel the Acolyte. Let's go ahead and, think of a couple ideas of why they would cancel it. Well, let's see. The decline in viewership could have actually made a difference for their shareholders. It could have not been financially feasible. It was more than a 100 million project. I thought it was around 300 million. Now that could have been half for the actors. And of course, you have your crew. There were there were a lot of physical sets that they did film on. So that takes a lot of resources and products. And basically, it was like a movie. And unfortunately, when you have a TV show on streaming, you will never make back your $300 million. Even with merchandise, especially for the Acolyte, that's a bit more of a mature show, you're not going to make that back. Mando made it back because it was marketable to kids. With all the Grogu stuff, you were able to market that and you made money back. So that's why they had a bit more of a bigger budget. But with the Acolyte, I can see them losing a lot of money from doing the streaming and doing all of that. So people just saying, like, blaming it on, now, okay, whatever you think is fine. There were definitely a lot of people who were racist, bigoted, and had this mindset to, because it was a Black female-led show, they decided that it wasn't their Star Wars and that they would harass Amandla Sandberg. And really, it was only her, but I know there were reports of people harassing Manny as well. And to that, I say that is unacceptable. And that is no reason to cancel a show just because half your fan base is racist. I'm sorry. That's just, honestly, for me, that's self-explanatory. They are the loudest part of the fandom. That doesn't mean they're the right part of the fandom. But it could be possible that they might cancel it because of that, but I find that very hard to believe. They didn't cancel the Rey movie. They didn't cancel the sequel trilogy after The Last Jedi. They are going to finish what they started. May they lose money? Yes. And, may they really try to stick towards Mandalorian and these one-offs like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because even though a lot of people didn't like Obi-Wan Kenobi, that still made them a lot of money, especially bringing in Hayden Christensen. And I hate to break it to you, I really loved Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that was one of my favorite shows. And I like that Star Wars, but a lot of people are done. And I understand that, but don't go harassing Dave Filoni just because he's making the Mando movie and saying, really? How dare you? When he most likely had nothing to do with the Acolyte cancellation or even knows about it. It's honestly laughable that people will just turn their backs on Dave Filoni in an instant when something they like doesn't happen the way they want it. It's the craziest thing. So I was already kind of getting into it, but the Twitter meltdown, people basically sending death threats to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy from not the angry YouTuber side of the fandom, but the good side of the fandom. And I was surprised. I said, really? This is what we're doing? You have become the thing you fought to destroy, realistically. This is such a Star Wars Tales of Oldest Time. You are now so angry and so caught up in what you love, what you loved, that you are lashing out, and that is not the right way to do it. You are becoming those angry YouTubers that are saying the originals are better, they should have stuck with that, blah, 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 blah. When The Acolyte was better, they should have stuck with that. I don't want season 8 of The Mandalorian. Now, granted, I don't want that either, but I'm not sending death threats to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau because they're making the Mando movie. Honestly, that is crazy behavior. And I don't know if it's because it's online. It probably is, but some of you guys need to calm down. It honestly shocked me and was crazy. It didn't help as well that, of course, Elon Muskrat tweeted, "Go woke, go broke," underneath the cancellation, which, of course, infuriated me. There's not much I could do about that because he owns the app that I curate my entire fandom on, unfortunately. But it kind of does tell you what sides of the fandom were the most happiest. Now, I did see legitimately from Moot saying, I'm really sorry to people that were really excited for season 2. Me personally, I don't really care if it's canceled or not. And I feel like that was the right way to go about it. They were honestly the sane part of the fandom when this all went down. And I agreed with them. I felt really bad for people that were, I guess, already under the impression that they were getting a season 2. And I guess we're kind of whiplashed by the information that, no, we're not. Again, because of the information we already had, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't. I needed official Lucasfilm to be like, oh no. And the same for Ahsoka too. Ahsoka ended on a very big cliffhanger, and I was like, hey, I would like a season 2, but it's still not confirmed. And then finally they confirmed Ahsoka season 2 at when they announced the Mando movie, and I was like, perfect. That's great. That's good for me. As long as it's officially announced by Star Wars, we're good. And people just don't, they already expect to get the content that is not handed to them, and that also pisses me off too, because that singles into entitlement, and you are entitled to this product and to this franchise, and you're not. I'm sorry. For one, this franchise is for kids. This franchise is not even for my age group, and yet I'm talking about it, because what I love about Star Wars is it's for everyone. But that comes with another thing of, you have the haters and the entitled people, and unfortunately, that's what comes with the fandom, but I have never seen anything like this. Another bad thing is that it was announced on Manny Jacinto's birthday. I don't know if that was purposeful by Deadline or the Holocron, but people also lost it too. And they were saying, wow, how to turn your back on Manny, how to do all of that, blah, 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 blah. And, I mean, yeah, that kind of sucks if he probably didn't know originally that season 2 was getting canceled. Again, season 2 was not announced, but he probably had hope that he would have had a little bit of security within Star Wars and could have gone on for a season 2, another paycheck. So that's probably not good for him to see and be like, oh shoot, I need to go find another job. That's acting though. Nothing's ever guaranteed. These actors are trained to do that, and it's unfortunate, but it's just like, basically taking a commission. You never, after you finish that commission, you never know when you're going to get your next commission. So you need to plan through that accordingly. Yes, does it suck? Absolutely. I'm not going to say it's a cakewalk, but you have to realize that that's part of the acting job, that you never really have job security. Many of actors that are way older have talked about it. And I'm not talking about A-list actors, okay? I love Manny, but I don't think he's an A-list actor. So it is a bit harder for them to find these jobs, right? And not have that job security. And it's important that they have these jobs, especially for Manny, who talked about it being really hard for him to get certain jobs because of his race. And that is a big topic to talk about, and I really don't want to skip that in this video, because it is important. And to have these voices heard and to have these actors have the same opportunities as any other actor, it does not matter. The hate that Moses Ingram got was disgusting. And honestly, that shook me because Reva's one of my favorite characters in Obi-Wan. I'm not even joking. I have 2 Funko Pops of her. I bought 2. I have her Black Series figure, and I think I now own a Topps card of her. So I loved her character, and I really didn't care about her race. I just thought she looked really, really cool, and I liked her lightsaber, and I liked her character, especially in Obi-Wan Kenobi. But she got so much harassment, and our own Obi-Wan Kenobi had to go online and say, yo, don't be racist. And people were like, what? But no, we're not. We just want her to be a good character. And I'm like, what? What are we doing? So people lost it. Then they brought it up into the talk of race and gender. And again, important things to touch on. I personally don't think that's why, air quotes, it got canceled. But it is an important thing to bring up within the fandom. Amandla tweeted a photo of her and Manny at the Acolyte finale, when they're holding hands looking towards the sunset. People didn't really know. People were already saying, oh my gosh, she's, projecting to fans and stuff. She's probably seeing the same stuff that we are too. And of course, she probably doesn't have any information, so she's probably just trying to tweet something out to be nice to the fans. Her comment section, though, was disgusting. It just is honestly scary how people think that there's no repercussions for just being really, really racist online, which unfortunately there isn't. I wish there was. I truly, truly wish there was. But there's not. Thankfully, John Boyega, our own Finn, sent her a Han Solo salute, and especially John Boyega. He got a lot of harassment, and that's a whole different thing. That was Lucasfilm and Disney's fault, and that should have not been treated the way it should have been. But it was nice to see her getting support. Then we got an article about Lee Jung-jae saying that he's disappointed in the Acolyte cancellation. I don't know. This was an official quote, by the way, but I don't know how much he knew about it. If he just said, how do you feel about the Acolyte season 2 being canceled? He was never going to be in season 2, so he'd probably just kind of put it out of his mind, right? He was probably like, okay, I did my job and I'm going to go do Squid Game and do all of my other stuff. So I kind of think that interview might have been the first time he heard it. So it's totally valid. I mean, for him saying he's disappointed, but I didn't see it as him. People were saying like, oh my gosh, how could you do that to Lee Jung-jae? I'm like, wait, guys, he's dead. I don't think he was going to come back in season 2. Maybe as a Force ghost, but I did not find that likely. So it was nice to see him comment, but still, I don't think he knew anything official. And like with the Ray movie, I want Lucasfilm to tell us yes or no if it's canceled, just so everyone can shut up about it and go back to their regular Star Wars posting. I've already started. I'm kind of done talking about the Acolyte after this. This type of thing has kind of ruined the show for me, which is kind of does suck. I liked it. I didn't like it. It was kind of just a show for me. I'll go and watch Obi-Wan or Ahsoka, honestly, if I'm going to go rewatch a Star Wars show. I'm happy people enjoyed it, but again, all of this drama and people just not even reading a damn article has kind of pissed me off in a way. Leslie Headland's wife, who I found out today, plays Vanestra, post how she was disappointed as well for the cancellation. Again, I don't think Leslie can legally post anything. So that was probably, she was probably like, hey, wifey, can you post something, please? Again, there's no official thing from Lucasfilm, which I'll get into, with the Rolling Stones article, which at first I was like, okay, how much information are we going to repeat? What are we going to talk about? But it was a long article too, so I decided to read it. It was written by C.T. Jones, and can I just say, he cooked. It was a really good article. Can Star Wars survive the worst of its fans? And unfortunately, to answer that myself, I would like to think yes. This is a dark time, but we've had these dark times before. We still are trying to recover from the Tross debacle. But what I really liked about this article is it brought up a lot of the issues, not with Acolyte, but with the fandom. And it didn't really touch on the cancellation. I feel like this has broadened a bigger kind of argument. No one really cares about the cancellation anymore. People really care about why it's being canceled, which is fair. I want to know information too. They brought up who determines what real Star Wars is. And truly, that's no one. Everything is Star Wars. Everyone can enjoy Star Wars. It's your choice to enjoy it or not. They brought up the Acolyte discourse, and I really, really like them bringing that up too, because not a lot of people know about that. And again, I don't like the term woke. Every time I hear it, it just kind of makes me want to punch a wall. It seems like in the past 5 years, people have just gone on this woke conservative spree of basically just being nice to anyone is just being woke. Again, you go back and look at Elon Musk's tweets about Tesla and them celebrating pride and so happy to be inclusive, and him saying, oh, I can't, that's so great. And then you see his tweets now, and it's disgusting, especially how he treats his daughter. And it's funny to me how that can shift, and it's like a disease, and it's really, really bad. And what's sad is most of the Star Wars fandom, shouldn't say most, the loudest part of the Star Wars fandom has it. And it's kind of disgusting. Disney and Lucasfilm did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment, which does concern me. The fact that I was thinking about this last night, there is not much that Lucasfilm and Disney can do. Because if they say, no, you're right, there was never going to be a season 2, you're going to anger fans. And you're going to anger shareholders because you're going to start losing people. Wow, you didn't really put any faith into this show. Which again, is fair. And then you have the flip side of, well, no, there was never season 2, so it's not canceled. People are going to flip that to say, oh, then we're getting a season 2. No, we're not. I think with how the viewership went, how much money it made Disney, we're not going to get a season 2. it was a great experiment, but they make more money by doing Ahsoka season 2 and 3 and the Mando movie. And quite honestly, I love those IPs. I'm not angry about them. I'm going to see Mando and Grogu on a Thursday night. We are doing that. I can't wait to go back into the theater. And I understand why people get angry at that, but again, I think Lucasfilm and as well as Leslie's hands are tied. There's not much that they could say that will stop fans. I mean, fans even started signing a petition to renew the Acolyte. Like, what are we doing, guys? Um, it's just, it's almost not even real. Um, and I do love that the community is banding together to want to renew the Acolyte, but I know they're going to be disappointed when it is never renewed. It almost feels like it's not. And then, quite honestly, should it even be renewed? The show had a lot of problems. And I'm very much thinking for myself, I thought it was okay. I liked it, but it wasn't. I mean, y'all saw my reviews here every single week. It wasn't my favorite thing. And it's sad to say, but I would prefer to watch Ahsoka or Obi-Wan. And they tried something, and I totally respect that. Again, when they sell books that are tied to the Acolyte, which there's one, Wayseeker, that is coming out in the next year or two, I will be buying those because that does really interest me, and the show has gotten me more into the High Republic. But I don't know if it should continue more than that. And of course, the Rolling Stones ended, bringing up Lucas and how people would call Star Wars, the originals, woke now. Even when Lucas was asked about this a couple years ago, when people were so, mad, and he talked about the fandom menace, and he brought up Princess Leia. She was the leader of the rebellion. Can you imagine that today? People, oh my gosh, people would lose it. And the whole thing is, it's about generation. 1000% it's about generation. You go back to the OG Star Wars, the people that are the loudest and rudest and most racist in the fandom were kids back in those days. I'm so serious. If you do the math, they were kids. And now, kids are teens. And now, they're angry, old, mainly men, that can't move on in their life. And it's honestly really sad. Really, really sad. So, I liked, honestly, go read the Rolling Stones article. It is amazing. They bring up a lot of other things I kind of just summarized. But yeah, I mean, I really talked a lot on this, a little bit longer than I think I needed to, but you all understand where I'm coming from, right? The first thing I said was when I read the deadline report, which was the first article to come out about this, it said nothing official. And people lost their damn minds. People will believe anything you put in front of them without doing an ounce of research. And y'all know me. Y'all know that I'm very much against AI. I have seen a splurge of, especially in the workplace, of people just using flat out AI to write articles and to have it think for them, basically. And people are just losing their ability to do basic comprehension skills and to read something and make an opinion for themselves. They need a YouTuber to explain it to them. And I'm sad where that's where the world is coming to. Because, again, read. do your own scouring for information. Yeah, it sucks. I did not want to read 4 articles talking about the same exact thing. Um, Besides the Rolling Stones, that was a treat to read, but it's not a game anymore. Especially with, I mean, I talk about politics on here, but not politics. And you have AI generated videos and photos now. You have just blatant lies that are being spread through the media. And yes, we are supposed to have laws against those. But again, if the ones that you're quote unquote spreading rumors about don't comment on those, there's not much that Lucasfilm and Disney can do to combat that. They can't unless they comment on it, which again, as I said, is a double-edged sword. People are going to be angry or people are going to be happy, then Disney is stuck with making a season 2, which again will anger people. No one is ever happy. But I don't know. My final thoughts, they do a season 2, I won't be mad about it. They don't do a season 2, won't be mad about it. Kind of just will live on. I'm excited for the Mando movie, excited for the Rey movie. It's kind of where we're at. So, anyway, guys, I really hope this video helped to just answer some questions that you guys had. If you haven't read the articles, go read them. Don't take my word for it. Again, though, I did not lie in this video. This is all safe. This is safe information. So, thank you all for listening, and I will see you